Ernie wants to invest 40,000 ringgit for 5 years. She has two choices, Bank A and Bank B. Bank A offers an interest rate of 3.5% compound quarterly. Bank B offers an interest rate of 4% compound monthly. To compare both banks, we use the compound interest formula. The formula is A is equal P bracket 1 plus R over N bracket to the power N T. For Bank A, P is 40,000, R is 0.035, N is 4 times a year, T is 5 years. So we substitute the value into the formula. We get A is equal 40,000 bracket 1 plus 0.035 divided by 4 to the power of 5. After calculating, the final amount for Bank A becomes 47,630 ringgit and 59 cents. P is 40,000, R is 0.04, N is 12 times a year, T is 5 years. We substitute the value into the formula again. A is equal 40,000 bracket 1 plus 0.04 divided by 12 to the power of 12 times 5. After calculating, the amount for Bank B becomes 48,839 ringgit and 85 cents. So, when we compare both results, Bank A clearly gives more profit. Therefore, Ernie should choose Bank B because it provides a higher return and the interest is compound more frequently, which helps her money grow faster. For question 2, 9 years ago, Ainul deposited an amount X into a savings account at ABC Bank. For the first 5 years, the interest rate was 3% compound quarterly. For the next 4 years, the interest rate changed to 4.5% compound every 2 months. At the end of 9 years, the accumulated amount in the account is 10,000 ringgit. Our task is to find the original deposit, which is X. We use the formula A is equal P bracket 1 plus R over N bracket to the power of NT. This formula gives the total amount after a period when interest is compound. Okay. Period 2, year 5 to year 9, the last 4 years. For this period, the annual rate is 4.5% compound every 2 months, which means 6 compound period per year. We know the final amount at the end of 9 years is 10,000 ringgit. Formula is A is equal 10,000 is equal A1 bracket 1 plus 0.045 divided by year to the power of 6 times 4. After calculating, we find that A is equal 8,358 ringgit and 31 cents. Now we go to the first 5 years. The annual rate was 3% compound quarterly, which means 4 compounding period each year. We know the amount after 5 years is a 1, which is 8,358 ringgit and 31 cents. We want to find the original deposit X. Okay. The formula when substituting value is A is equal A1 is equal X bracket 1 plus 0.03 divided by 4 to the power of 4 times 5. We solve this problem for X by divided A1 by the growth factor for 5 years. After calculating, the original deposit X is 7,198 ringgit and 10 cents. So, the amount annual deposit 9 years ago is 7,198 ringgit and 10 cents.
So now I will be answering question 3. Rudy deposited Rm 16,000 in an account at K% compounded every 3 months. After 3 years, the amount is Rm 18,500. So for the first calculation, I will be determine the total interest earned. In this question, I use the formula of total interest earned equal to future value minus principal value. In this question, future value is the amount after 3 years, that is 18,500. And for the principal value, it is the amount that has been deposited in the account, that is Rm 16,000. my solution is to minus them. 18,500 minus with 16,000. And the answer will be Rm 2,500. I will be using this formula, the picture besides me, that is from chapter 3, compound interest. In that formula, S is future value, P is principal value, K is annual nominal rate, and M frequency of conversion. Lastly, time, T is time. But the T is always in years. Answer wants me to find a solution to determine the value of K. As you can see in the question, the K is an unknown. So I will be using that formula to determine the value of K. S is 18,500. P is 16,000. And M is 4, because in the question it says K% compounded every 3 months. So for M, the frequency of conversion is 4. And for the time is 3 years, because in the question it says after 3 years the amount is Rm 18,500. So that is where I get 3 years. K is an annual nominal rate. So we can conclude that the answer will be in percentage. For this question, I get the answer K equal to 0.04869. But it is not in a percentage, so I will multiply it with 100. And the final answer will be K equal to 4.87%.
Question 4a. The question is, Amir sold a commercial lot for Rm 180,000 and he used 60% of this amount as a down payment. 60% of Rm 180,000 is Rm 108,000 and the house price is Rm 850,000. And for this question, we will use the present value formula. So, the house price, we need to minus it with the 60% of the down payment. So, we will get Rm 742,000. And the loan period is 30 years, but since payments are made monthly, we need to convert years into months. So, 30 years multiplied with 12, we will get 360 months. And the interest rate is 4.6% per annum and compounded monthly. And when we substitute and calculate it, we will get the final answer, which is Rm 3,803 ringgit and 82 cents. Question 4, part B. In this question, we need to calculate the total interest charged over the loan period. And for this question, I will use the formula I equal N times R minus A. The total amount paid is Rm 3,803 ringgit and 82 cents need to be multiplied by 360 months. So, when we get the answer, we need to minus it with the original loan amount, which is Rm 742,000. So, the answer is Rm 627,375 ringgit and 20 cents. Question 4, part C. In this question, I will use the present value formula. The question is, Amir decides to settle the loan immediately after paying the 288 monthly payment. So we need to find the balance. First, we find the remaining number of payment, which is 360 months. We minus it with 288 months and we will get 72 months. And after making a substitution and calculation, the outstanding balance is Rm 238,932 ringgit and 73 cents. Question 4, part D. For this question, I will use the future value formula. Amir failed to pay the first 5 monthly installments. Therefore, these 5 unpaid monthly payments accumulated with interest. And from the calculation, the accumulated value of the first 5 unpaid payments is Rm 19,165 ringgit and 47 cents. This amount then incurred interest for 1 additional month before the 6th payment was made. So, after adding 1 month's interest, the accumulated arrears became Rm 19,238 ringgit and 94 cents. On the 6th month, Amir must pay both the accumulated arrears and the current monthly installment. So, the total amount payable on the sixth payment is Rm 23,042 ringgit and 76 cents.
So I will be moving on. Question 5. Chong buys a smart 4K OLED TV with a cash price of Rm 18,999 by making a 15% down payment. The remaining balance is financed through a hire purchase agreement with a bank that charges 5.25% per annum compounded monthly. He agrees to pay equal monthly installments of Rm 488 to settle the loan in full. The bank requires the loan to be fully repaid, and Chong wants to know exactly how long it will take. So in this question, we will have to determine the T, time. So for this question, I will be using formula of present value of annuity in chapter 4, that is annuity. I will be using this formula beside me, and to determine the time, because in the question, Chong said that he wants to know exactly how long that it required to fully repay the loan. So in this formula, A is the present value, R is periodic payment, I is interest rate per interest period, and lastly N is number of interest periods. So based on this question, we can say that R is Rm 488, because in the question he said he agrees to pay equal monthly installments of Rm 488 to settle the loan in full. So that is the R. And for the I, interest rate per interest period, it is 0.0525 divided with 12. That is the I. And where do I get that amount is from the remaining balance is financed through a hire purchase agreement with a bank that charges 5.25% per annum compounded monthly. Compounded monthly, that means like in a year there is 12 months, so that is for the 12 if you're asking, and 0.0525 is from the 5.25% per annum. That percent I will change it into decimal, that is by dividing it with 100. And for the N, that is number of interest period. It is a combination of M and T. So M is, as you can see, the month earlier, compounded monthly. I will be using 12. And T is an unknown, because that is why we have to search to determine it. So for my answer in this will be 3 years.